leaders who want real results, not more noise. Join Emmanuel Rose as he helps business builders turn AI from a confusing add-on into a practical advantage with clearer messaging, stronger trust, and smarter systems. If you felt the shift happening in real time, you're not imagining it. In the agentic pivot, Emmanuel calls it the move from experimenting with AI to building with it, so it supports your team, your brand, and your growth. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm Emmanuel Rose. My guest today is Adrian Nikolov, founder of Hyde Digital. He'll have to correct me if I got that wrong. And a practitioner of what he calls organic growth engineering. And we're going to get into that. With 17 years focused on search and organic growth, including leadership at Acronis, MOBA Systems, and Phone Arena, Adrian builds SEO and AI search systems that companies own outright. His work sits at the intersection of technical SEO, generative engine optimization, and AI automation. We'll get practical on how to move from campaign-driven SEO to durable systems-based discovery. That sounds awesome. Adrian, thanks so much for taking some time to be on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, Emmanuel.
Yeah,
and by the way, it's Hyde.
Hyde
Digital. Yes,
okay.
Hyde.
Right.
It means let's go in Bulgarian.
Let's
and
go.
Obviously in Romanian as well.
I love it. All right. We like action, right?
Yeah. Always go forward that way. Progress.
Hopefully it's progress if you're moving forward.
Yeah.
Explain to me a little bit about what's the foundational principles of organic growth engineering.
Yeah. So when I built Hyde literally 5 months ago, there was a lot of stuff happening. GEO, everyone trying to sell to you. SEO, which is actually the foundation and everything that sits on top. And organic growth engineering is the thing that I decided to call what we are building, because I didn't want to create another agency. I'm a bit of the contrarian when it comes to agency, because I've worked with a lot and seen a lot of bad stuff, which I don't want to mention. But yeah, what organic growth engineering is, it's the actual intersection between SEO, GEO, and AI automation. Because what we built are in the end of the 12 months, which is the maximum contract you can have with us, the client gets to own a completely functional topical authority system along with all of the driver's license with it, the complete strategy, the full guidance, and everything that comes to it. It's built on the SEO fundamentals, starting with a lot of groundwork. You know that every website needs a lot of technical SEO before we get into everything else.
Sure.
And starting with SEO, aligning it slowly but surely towards the future of search, towards GEO, the main principles there. At Hyde, we are doing a lot of research, and we try to be at the forefront of everything that's new. And literally, it's 6 hours a day of research, and the other, the remaining, like 2 hours of sleep, and everything else. You know.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's very exciting, and it's very risky on my end as a founder, because nobody knows what we do.
For sure.
But when they see it, and when they see those graphics jumping and the revenue skyrocketing, yeah, that's what makes me sleep like a baby.
All right, I love it, especially for 2 hours, right?
Yeah. I just said it, like a baby. Babies
Yeah.
don't sleep a lot.
Well, so talk a little bit about the foundational principles in terms of where you start with your SEO review and what you kind of correct before you move on into the next phases.
All right. The foundation It's what we call the growth diagnostic, because apparently the era of the SEO audit is way behind. That's where we try to tackle all of the crawlability and technical SEO issues,
Yep.
rendering, indexability, mm, crawl budget optimization, structured data. Yes, we add FAQ structured data, and I'm saying that because just recently Google announced that they're deprecating it, but yes, we are building it, and yes, everybody needs to have it because it's too many. Google,
FAQs. Yeah, that's one of the primary ways that the LLMs are bringing up topics in their answers is from FAQs.
yeah, not only. I mean, you don't need to have a structured FAQ section at the bottom so you get in the LLM's feed. Actually, when we're on the LLM's subject right now, it's better to structure your whole content around questions and direct answers,
Yeah.
applying the answer capsule principle and the bottom line up front, because where were all of the LLMs trained? What did they read when they learned? They read Wikipedia, academic papers, politic magazines, and everything attends to the bluff principle, because it's the main principle of journalist writing. Like, get to the point, answer like question, and get to the point, and then explain your thesis.
Right.
After the diagnostic, this allows us to literally scope the whole project that's ahead of us, and be it so whatever the niche, whatever the structure. We work with a lot of programmatic SEO websites, like thousands and even millions of pages.
Wow.
That's it's not that easy to optimize projects on such a scale. But hey, I don't know if you've heard, probably you have, but there's this thing called AI, which we use 99% of the time. And we are very good at making the AI work for us and really be there for us and for everything we do. And I'm not talking AI slop. Yes, it's good stuff. I
Yeah.
promise.
Okay, so your process is you go and take care of. You only have 12 months, which I like. So you've got a timeline. Number one, so
Yeah.
you got to move quick, and it's the defined project for your clients, which is cool. Going to do some foundational SEO work, and then what comes up on the next part of the project.
The next part, so if the foundations are first, the growth diagnostic is the first part of the whole process. Then we take a month or 2 months for the so-called groundwork. That's where we actually fix everything. It depends on the team we are working with. If, for instance, the company had their internal developer team, we just create the PRDs and hope for the best, because this is where time gets really messy, and the 12 months are like, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, even inside 12 months, there's going to be scope creep, and there's going to be development lag, and so. But I love that you have that very clear timeline, because it really pushes you to work to get through all the typical delays that we get in these projects.
Yeah, I guess that's one part. And the additional thing here is that, as I said, I've worked in different agencies and with different agencies. And the worst part about agencies is the lock-in. And literally, the clients don't get anything after the contract. They only get the next iteration, and they're dependent on the paycheck. Like,
Yeah.
if you stop paying, the strategy stops and everything ends. And after 12 months, there's not much to do after 12 months of SEO. It's usually a project's life cycle until the complete flawless execution, until it gets boring.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Which is why
it's
you're
around
setting up automations, right, to do the
exactly.
follow-up work. Yeah. So talk a
Exactly.
little bit about the automations and how you're doing that, Adrian. I'm excited to hear about this.
So, yeah, after the groundwork and the strategy, we create the topical authority system. It starts with the topical authority mapping and everything around the topics the brands need to own. Um, that by itself, like, let's first dig a bit into topical authority.
Sure.
Topical authority is starts from your website, but it expands all around the web.
Yep.
It isn't only blog articles, but it's what people say about your brand on the web,
Sure. Yep.
what is quoted, and backlinks are a part of that as well, and social media,
Yep.
also Reddit, and all of the answer
Yep.
engines, apparently.
I heard it called search everywhere is what is the environment we're in, right?
Yes, yes. The search everywhere optimization is part of the thing we're building, and it's a part of the system. So we are creating a very in-depth topical authority map, which reflects into a content calendar.
Yep.
It targets all of the parts of the client's journey. It targets informational intent, where your how to's and questions get answered, the
Yep.
middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel, of course, because that's what brings the money in.
Love it.
And yes, you can rank bottom of the funnel pages in ChatGPT, confirmed. And yes,
Sure.
they make money.
Yeah.
Just to
Mm.
so it's known. Where was I? Oh yeah, the fine tuning of this system is really what matters, because our initial steps are write everything with AI. The topical authority system, we work heavily with Notion. It takes all of the data, literally the content brief, the whole context from Notion. It's structured around everything we know about the brand, which is a different process, but I don't want to get too much into it. Um, and it's it automatically publishes on the client's website. But before we get to that, because I mentioned that we don't do AI slope, there are a couple of months of fine tuning everything. Right now, getting like the models are really smart, but for the different niche, a different model works better in writing. For the separate brand voices, we use different models and test all of them. For
Yeah.
instance, for most direct e-commerce brands, I've discovered that Google Flash 3.0, the previous model, not
Yeah.
the
Right on.
new flashy one. Yeah, I haven't played with it. It literally launched yesterday. But yeah, is the best model for writing content for e-commerce, and we play a lot of that. There is a large and time-consuming approval process with the people we work with. Our head of content is sweating all the time, and we transfer all of the information, either be it from calls or emails, transcripts, and feed it to the models.
Yep.
And that's how the context model is formed, and so on. But the complete idea is by month 12 is like the handoff. By then, there must be a person who can operate the whole system. Everything is well documented. There are videos, looms about each step, how to
Yep.
create the strategy next year, and we remain there for maintenance only. If we don't do that, we failed somewhere.
So explain to me how, because we were talking earlier, and we know this is a very dynamic environment for search, however you want to call it, SEO, GEO, AEO, and whatever the next EO is, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you build this system. How do you make it self-learning so that as these changes happen, it's integrating those into the campaign after you're complete with your portion of the work?
That's a separate part of the system. We
Okay.
call it signal interception, which literally grabs all of the context around the topics we are working with, um, via APIs or feeds.
Yep.
Newsletters, we pull information and data from Reddit, we scrape LinkedIn and everything.
Thank God for
And
Notebook.
thank you, Notebook.
So
Yes.
yeah, Google Notebook. If you're listening and you haven't started using it as part of your workflow, it's worth the time investment to go and do deep research and consistent deep research on these topics that are very dynamic. So yeah, so you're doing the research and look and documenting the changes.
Not only documenting if it's worth it and if it's relevant to the niche, if we've seen that the newsjacking strategy is working well within a given niche. For instance, for SaaS companies, newsjacking is huge right now. Literally, you take all of the signals, all of the industry news, and you reframe them and you publish them as articles on your blog, or you build tools, which is another system that is part of what we are building of the organic growth engineering framework. Linkable assets.
Yeah,
That's a huge middle of the funnel asset, and it gives you free links. Literally, people are linking to that. We built software that creates huge value and people want to share. And if it's influenced by something big going on in the industry, it skyrockets and gets viral immediately.
right.
Yeah, it's actually it's beautiful.
It is that is a beautiful space to be in when you've done the research, done the work, created the asset, and then the news cycle pushes it up for you.
Yeah. Of course, it gets boring sometimes. I, I I get bored easily. I have to admit, I have shiny object syndrome, and it's really hard to cope with it nowadays, especially when a new model and new announcement is coming each day.
Yep.
But I manage somehow.
Well, I really wanted
To
to put Spark to use, but I wasn't on the inside list. The Google Spark. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was wondering actually. We were discussing it with a colleague last week. What would Google's answer be on OpenClaw and all
Yeah.
of the other autonomous agents? Because there are quite a bunch of them, and we all know Google is going to win long term. And now they're starting slowly but surely. They know they are going to win. They don't
Yeah.
care if there's something trending right now. They study it, they analyze it, and they give you then the best version of it from their own perspective.
Yeah. I think Google right now is a little Microsofty in the releases, in that they're releasing 50 or 60% completed projects. I've had like some of their agent platforms. I haven't had good experience with when they first come out, right? And then they're getting the market feedback to then make the updates instead of a more complete product. That's what it seems like to me.
Actually, I love that, and that's part of the Heide principles. The let's go.
Yeah.
We never want perfection. We want data. Data is
Right.
what drives us forward. Let's just put it out there. Let's make it user friendly. Let's make it one hell of a marketing campaign so we pull as much people as possible, and let's study the data and respond.
And I think that's the difference between the innovator and the early adopter, right?
I believe,
And
yeah.
so I like a little bit more finished product because I don't like to spend hours and hours solving other people's problems. But that's
True.
another episode.
A long one, by the way.
Yeah. Well, tell me, Adrian, what's your ICP look like? Like, what kind of companies do you like to work with?
Well, Heide is focused on software as a service and e-commerce brands.
Okay.
We enjoy helping startups because we ourselves are a startup, and
Yeah.
we know very well how hard it is. We enjoy working with seed level brands to help them get the
Yep.
funding, because organic search wins there. It's a huge, it's a huge exclamation mark on your pitch that you are already getting traffic from ChatGPT, from
Right.
Claude. You're
Yep.
getting cited in AI overviews and everywhere. People know about you. You're
Yep.
feeding. You've thought about this channel already, and yeah,
And
it
what does
really moves the
a
needle.
typical engagement look like for you in terms of the finance side?
On the finance side, we are very flexible. Depending on the scope of the project, but we keep a monthly retainer until month 12 or month 6. The smallest period you can be with us is 6 months, because that's where the magic happens. And that's where the system is already capable of producing things on its own, and the traffic is skyrocketing. Well, you see the traffic improvements even earlier, but
Sure.
in month 6 is where you want to start shoveling money on us, like, oh, this is really good.
Right, where you're getting an ROI and you can justify increasing the spend.
Exactly. And in terms of exact pricing, I would give a range starting from 2,000 euro to 10,000 per month,
Yep.
depending on the scale, depending on how much automation we're going to do, because we also like plug in within the company. We study their processes and their lack of such.
Yep.
We interview people if we're speaking about larger content teams, because that's where we are actually very good at. We just automate and make the smart people not ever have to do operational work ever.
Love it. That's
The-
beautiful. That is
sm-
true elegance. Yes.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to solve the problems that I had. Literally the things that I hated for these 17 years.
Yeah.
Even back in the day, like literally 15 years ago in the scrapebox era, when even then we were trying to build systems. And I'm true believer that SEO should be treated as an engineering problem and not a marketing problem, because see what's happening.
It's too
Campaigns,
technical. I agree.
yeah, campaigns are over. Campaigns are the paid stuff where when you stop putting money and the campaign stops and everything is gone. And
Right.
they work short term. Campaigns you can do for PPC, but for
Yeah,
SEO it's a marathon. It is a marathon.
absolutely. Well, I really appreciate your time today, and I would love to have you back on the show and have a second part of this conversation if you're willing to do that.
Of course I am. It's a
Okay.
pleasure talking to you, Emmanuel.
And how do people catch up with you, Adrian, to talk about how to get found online through your system?
You can always visit heide.digital or Adrian Nikolov on LinkedIn, which is I.
Okay, it's very nice conversation, and I'm very grateful for your time today.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, there you have a good overview of not just the importance of optimized web and website and web presence, and take care of the foundational items first, and look and see how you can automate the processes of being found both in search and in generative, and the importance of getting some help for it too. It's a very complicated, as complicated as accounting at this point, and to get some help from somebody like Adrian is a critical activity if you're serious about your business. I hope that you got some value from this conversation. I know I did. And I also hope that you take time today to look and find ways to leverage AI to save 2 to 5 hours a week, the way about a third of us are using AI. And that with that extra time, you continue to upskill, that you spend time with your friends and family, and that you get outside into nature, away from the screens. This is Emmanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI. Hope you have a good day.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI.
Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.